Donk Nation, Jackson Janet's greetings and welcome to your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some serious football talk, Gingy. It's that time of year. There is no more nonsense. There is no more fluff. There is no more filler. It is time for pads on Steelers football talk. Gingy, it's a great time of year, right?
Donkey Mutant Gingy in the house. It is that time of year again. Hello, football. Preseason football, be it as it may. But
Kinda
still
counts.
football, Donkey. I'm getting hype.
Kind of counts. If you hear any snarky comments in the background, that's because there's a binky lurking somewhere back there. But that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to make sure people don't think there's a ghost in their head when things are going on. Gingy, first game at Tampa, hot as hell. But the Steelers looking hot as hell right off the presses in that first drive.
Not looking pretty sharp coming off the off-season, off-camp there. Kenny Pickett they're coming out throwing. Donkey, I noticed that Tampa Bay came out running. Pittsburgh came out throwing the ball, and Kenny's throwing it into some tight windows. He's throwing it on the run. I like it. Big play to Pickett's at the end. Holy smokes, he broke the ankles on that safety badly. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, our one receiver's going against some less than ones and defensive backs made for a big advantage there. But should be expected from the Steelers when you look at the way this team is built. You're going to see a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. You're not going to see a lot of, although they probably will go into a lot of run heavy stuff, bringing in Washington and that. But when you look at our offensive line, really, I don't know if you call run blocking a strength because it certainly wasn't last year. It certainly wasn't the year before. We brought in a guy like Simu Alu who should improve that. But there's still big weaknesses. I think you're going to have to see what you saw today, which is Kenny Pickett, those tight windows throws. And I hate to say it, Gingy, but this is the recipe for success. Deontay Johnson, big play to Pickens. That's what it's going to be. I know how you like Space Cadet, as Zoidy likes to call him. But DJ is going to be a huge part of this offense if we're going to be good.
Yeah, I agree, and he's still running north and south, doing a lot of running without gaining many yards. But he's catching the ball. It was good. He received the ball multiple times. I like it. Donkey, my main concern, probably Najee Harris. Didn't see many touches, but Jalen Warren had some strong runs. I think I saw a couple from McFarland in there, but
RB3 really for sure.
Nothing really notable from Najee tonight.
I'm going to say it from you, and you know I've said this from the day he was drafted. I said it the first year he played. I said it last year. He's a guy whose numbers will look good if you give him high volume, but he's never going to be a guy who's more than what the offensive line gives you. He'll take every yard the offensive line gives you, but nothing more. He doesn't have that elusiveness, and he doesn't have that real explosiveness that makes him a next level running back like you would see in Saquon Barkley or McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara. And I said that when I watched his tape out of Alabama. And 2 years of it, it feels the same. He's not a bad running back, but he's not a great running back in my opinion. And today, one-on-one in the open field with a backup linebacker, Gingy, that guy can't bring you down one-on-one if you're a first-round running back. There's my take. Hopefully, Najee, listen to this, prove me wrong. But going into year 3, I feel the same way I did the day he was drafted, Gingy.
It needs to be the breakout year, yeah. Running back market is tight. And if you want to have that job, and make the bag, you got to put up the production. And like I said, there wasn't many touches. It wasn't, real football, quote unquote. But Donkey, that's the area on the offense I'm most worried about, aside from that line protecting. From what I said earlier, is a little slight
both
on
offensive. Both offensive tackles still scare me a little bit. Jonathan Taylor's on the market. How about Najee for Jonathan straight up? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, who's going to do that?
Although I would love to see Jonathan Taylor in black and gold. No, just putting that out there. No hate to Najee. I think he's a good back, like I said. And if this offensive line improves the way we think it can, Gingy, you're looking at a guy who could be probably a Pro Bowler this year, if not first team All-Pro, based off how good this offensive line has the potential to be if Najee Harris is in fact given that number one workhorse label. But one drive, only one incompletion for Kenny Pickett, and it was when he was running for his life and tried to do a shovel pass while getting brought down during the pass. Have to absolutely love, to me, the development of Kenny Pickett into this first preseason from last year. Last year, he threw the ball well. Today, every ball was right where it needed to be. Small hands at all. Really looked to get it done today, Gingy.
Always with the hands, right? But yeah, I agree. I'm very happy about what I'm seeing, Donkey. I'm getting it. Let's go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. I love
Gotta
it,
have
Donkey.
fun. Gotta talk to starters when you do. But preseason football, Gingy, is all about the backups. It's all about the guys who are going to make that roster. And Anthony McFarland today put down an absolute stomp to anyone who thinks he isn't going to be RB3. No doubt about it. McFarland makes this team unless he gets injured, just based off today's performance, in my opinion.
I agree. I think he's the top yards per carry on the team, aside from Calvin Austin, who looks like they're going to try to fit into that Claypool role.
I will get to Calvin Austin in a minute, but yes, McFarland, I believe it's like a 28-yard touchdown, something like that. Also had a 20-yard run that was called back because of a holding penalty to Kendrick Green, who also I will get to in a moment. But wanted to give a shout out there on the offensive side to McFarland because I thought he played a great game. So we'll get into – let's start with the great games that I thought. Obviously, first-team offense, all of you get a heads up. I had to give a special shout-out to McFarland and a shout-out to Calvin Austin because that speed showed up today. But let's be honest, that speed showed up against a bunch of guys who aren't going to make the roster. I'm holding this with a grain of salt. Call me excited for what could be, but that speed needs to show up against the people who will be playing on Sundays, not Friday nights. But good laydown today. Huge 67-yard touchdown from Mason Rudolph to Calvin Austin. A huge jet sweep out there where he absolutely just blew right by the guy supposed to hold the edge. Gingy, some exciting stuff from the little guy.
Good stuff. I like to see it. Team needs some speed, some top-end speed there, you know. I like it. It adds another dimension. Might even fit that guy into a couple gimmicks throughout the year.
For sure, for sure. Now let's get to the bad side of things. There's a couple guys that I really, really, really want to point out here. Oh, I guess we'll finish my good stuff by Mason Rudolph, second best quarterback on this team. His ability to stay in the pocket, not be afraid to take the hit, and throw the ball better downfield than Mitch Trubisky is why I think he should be the number 2 quarterback. Because when I get a backup quarterback, I want a guy who can win you the game, not a guy who's going to manage it. Gingy, your thought on should there be any quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh this year? Not on the starter side, but on the backup side.
I'm not thinking so.
Fair enough.
From what I saw on Tampa Bay's side too, it's pretty clear as well. How those quarterbacks are going to look. Kyle Trask, how'd you feel about Kyle Trask today, Donkey?
He looked exactly like he did in college, which is not very good.
There you go.
Neither here nor there. A little more athletic than Baker, but to be honest, I think Mason Rudolph will be competing for that starting job if he was down there in Tampa Bay because I'm not sold on any of those guys. There's a reason, Gingy, they came out run on 4 downs, okay? Let's just put it that way.
It is. There is.
Let's finish off the offensive talk with who I thought had some bad games, and we will start with Kendrick Green. After that terrible thing where you get demoted from starting center as a rookie to not even playing in year 2, you have to come out in year 3 and show something. And I'll tell you what he showed, Gingy. He showed that he can give up pressure. He showed that he can commit a penalty on a big play. And he showed he can snap the ball over the quarterback's head. That was all in a 3-play series. The hell is this dude doing on the Steelers roster?
Gotta get it together. What he was a third rounder?
Third round pick, which you don't draft undersized linemen, Gingy. There's a reason linemen are a certain size in the NFL, okay?
Okay, Donkey, okay.
You show me an undersized lineman and I'll show you a draft bust. That's all I'm saying.
How dare you?
It is what it is. But there's another guy I want to specifically point out that I was very disappointed from, and it's a guy who's been on the Steelers now for about 3 years, practice squatting back and forth, and that was Cody White. The guy just doesn't seem to have that football IQ or the fire to really play. I just watching it, and the interception by Trubisky, he falls out of bounds and doesn't fight for the ball. He gets a ball at the end of the first half with like 16 seconds left, and instead of getting down instantly so it's an easy spike, he just runs for another 7 seconds, wasting time and doesn't get out of bounds. I have to say, I am done watching Cody White football, Gingy, because maybe there's some talent there that we haven't seen, but the dude to me just does not seem like he gets football.
I'm with you, Donkey. I mean, nothing consistent. In a way, unfortunately. Mean thing to say, but it's true. Kind of in a way.
That's for sure. Any closing thoughts on the offensive performance today, Gingy?
No, you know me, Donkey. I love me some Pickett to Pickens and all, but Gingy's a defensive man. Let's get at him.
We could do that. But how about we before I forget, give a special shout out to the little kicker that we brought in. I can't remember his name now. Potter. The dude loved to live right beside the uprights, Gingy, but he didn't miss a kick, so kudos to him for that. Good showing, I guess, all in all.
BT Potter scraped the inside of that upright.
Twice.
Twice. The dude's money on extra points, apparently, like in his whole career, college career, whatever, but, I mean, very close ones tonight. We'll see.
Remember, college extra points still like a 2-yard extra point, I believe.
That's true. That is true.
Other side of the thing,
that's
the punter,
that's getting ball as well, some competition in there,
which he might need after last year. Also, a guy who needs competition, Harvin, the punter man. You know what? I have to say, more impressed with him than I've been with my favorite draft crush ever, the fat punter. Maybe this guy actually has legit chance there to win over the punting job. This man.
Maybe. Yeah, what is it? Braden Mann, 45 a punt. Two of them inside the 20. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, when we get to the defense, you'd be remiss not to start with a big injury to a guy who, from all accounts, was having a great camp and was looking like maybe the inside track between him and Elijah Riley while Shandon Sullivan really wasn't practicing much to get that slot corner spot. And that's Duke Dawson, guy that got brought in from Denver, was with New England a little bit, former second-round pick out of Florida. A lot of potential talent there. From my understanding, having a great camp. Goes up to deflect that pass at the end of the game, 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go, and comes down, doesn't land on anything, straight grabs to the knee. You have to have an idea of what that is. That sounds like an ACL. Sad to see that at the end of the game for a guy who played a pretty good game today in Duke Dawson, Gingy.
Yeah, unfortunate. In addition to that, we're looking at I was looking at Keanu Benton. Defensive tackle, already thin there. Can't be losing guys at that position.
Second-round pick out of Wisconsin. Had himself a whale of a game. He was cracking in the backfield all the time. That fourth down stop that everyone's so happy about, Loudermilk. Watch who made that play. It's Keanu Benton just running people over, Gingy. That motor is huge. Slight limp off. You hope it's just, it's hot in Tampa Bay. He's a big dude. A little bit of cramp is what you hope, right?
Yeah, that's what you hope so. But, thin at that position on the team. Can't be losing guys at that position, especially ones with promise like that. Let's go.
He certainly looked good. Another guy who looked good on the line, I thought, was DeMarvin Leal. Looked pretty good in his time out there, albeit these guys are going against backup tackles, and Tampa Bay doesn't have that great of an offensive line this year to begin with. But you kind of like what you see there. You had to like the push from them. Really, pass rush was non-existent for most of today, especially early in the game. Guys like Perales was getting time out there. Golden only played one series, made a nice stop on the run, and then he was out. So you're not playing your top three outside linebackers with Golden, Watt, all out. It's just, Highsmith not playing. Kind of what you expect, but there was a glimmer of hope in a draft pick, undersized linebacker, another guy out of Wisconsin, Nate Herbig, sack and a half, and almost ripped off Kyle Trask's hand, it looked like at one point, Gingy. A little bit of hope there for the speed rush extraordinaire guy who apparently has been dominating our offensive tackles in practice.
Yeah, overall, I liked what I saw. Myself, I was trying to watch for those middle linebackers. I think that's
Quan Alexander.
I mean,
had a game.
and I had a tackle for loss. Really liked it. Really kind of. I like to see it, Donkey. Again, last year
Kilatowski killed a running back on way to a sack. I don't know if you remember that, but that was my favorite play of the game.
Yes, absolutely. Like that. I like what I'm seeing, coming off of Miles Jack and Devin Bush. Pretty much all new faces there, Donkey, and I like what I see.
The only returning face was Robinson, and I don't know if you watched, but he was playing sideline to sideline pretty good. Drew a couple of penalties and made a couple of nice tackles out there. Maybe this year our inside linebackers are kept because they're actually good inside linebackers and not pure special teams experts. That means I'm looking for guys like Kilatowski to make the team, Robinson to make the team, and not guys like Tanner Muse. I really hope we focus on keeping the better player instead of the better special teamer this year, Gingy.
Let's go. I like to... anything to keep strength on this defense, Donkey, it's still thin to me. There's still ability to run straight up the middle. There's still soft coverage on receivers, and I'm not confident in all the. I know we didn't see everybody out there today, but I'm not confident.
A staple of a Mike Tomlin defense is you can run it up the middle, and on 3rd and 20, we're going to give you 22 yards.
No, say it ain't so, Donkey.
It happened again today.
As a dagger to my heart, Donkey.
My notes on the defense, Gingy, read as such. I thought Alexander played a hell of a game. I thought Malik Golden looked good on his first series. 35, I don't remember what his name is, cornerback, absolutely runs this play down in the backfield and then tries to shoulder tackle like Minkah Fitzpatrick, misses it, 5-yard gain. Can't have that stuff. Don't think he's going to make the team, but it is what it is. We've also seen all sorts of people out of positions. I mean, there's one play I want to get to, Quan Alexander, and I'm going to say this again. When a running back lowers his head and the helmet-to-helmet contact happens because the running back ducks his damn head, the penalty needs to be on the running back. Quan Alexander's going to tackle this dude at the waist. He ducks his head down to the waist and draws a 15-yard personal foul because Quan Alexander nicked his face mask. Bro, how'd you tackle in the NFL?
Donkey, you gotta allow these refs to get in their little preseason meetings as well, man. That might work itself out before week 1. We'll see.
Apparently, their emphasis is to call that exact play as a personal foul on the defense this year. At least that's how the Steelers announcers were explaining it when it happened. Is that's the exact helmet-to-helmet they're looking for, and that's the one they're going to focus on calling this year.
Well, all in all, if you're looking at that, Steelers fans should know best as to why that rule would be in place.
Other things that I saw on defense, I'll just let that linger for everybody.
What? You don't know what I'm talking about, Donkey?
I know exactly what you're talking about. There's some people who probably still don't think straight because of someone who was on our team.
All right on, Donkey.
Just saying, that's the way it is. Trenton Thompson undercutting the ball for an interception. Maybe a guy who has a chance to be that depth safety. I know a lot of people are talking about the local kid. I can't remember his name right now. Anderson, I believe it was. Kenny Anderson, something like that. Trenton Thompson, though, looked pretty good in his limited time in there. We also had some guys blowing coverage, but I'm not really here to call out the 80th man on the roster. I'm looking for people who excited me and made plays. Although there's one guy I do want to call out, and it's because he's a guy I thought was going to make this team for sure. I'm not so sure now. James Pierre is about to become he who shall not be named again. My goodness gracious, if there was one player to pick out on defense for me who had a terrible game, it would be that man.
He had 10 tackles, 9 solo. Is that because he's letting everybody catch the ball in front of him, Donkey?
Yes. He gave. Look at the coverage stats on him today, and they are just. Let's just say we apparently were playing John Elway, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Dan Marino's love child if you were throwing the ball against James Pierre. All right?
Okay. That's no good. He who shall soon to not be named.
He who shall soon not be a Pittsburgh Steeler if he keeps that trash up. My goodness gracious, I don't care how good he is as a gunner on special teams. You can't keep that big of a coverage liability on this team.
Donkey, we're desperate at DB. What's your alternative?
Well, let's see. We have Patrick Peterson, right? We have Levi Wallace. We have Joey Porter Jr. All cemented, right?
I would say,
from there,
that's 1, 2, 3.
We also added Shundon Sullivan this offseason, who's looking pretty good. Elijah Riley's moving down to play slot corner now. So that's pretty good stuff there. I guess my man crush Corey Trice Jr. don't have a chance of making it since he hurt himself. Duke Dawson was another guy. We'll have to see what that knee injury was before we can determine. But there are a lot of names you can put out there at cornerback. The guy 35, the guy who got burned, was like one of the best DBs in the XFL this year, but that showing today wasn't there. But, preseason game 1, hot game. Let's give them all a little bit of a break here. Let's see what happens going into week 2. I'm not going to read too much into anything, not going to read too little into anything. All in all, a win. Excited. The team took the steps I wanted to see. Gingy didn't get to see anything about the defense, so I can't really judge anything there. Would have liked to see some of those DBs play just to see how they play together. Also would have liked to see any of our 3 safeties play. Keanu Neal would like to see how he looked in black and gold. The repeat of DeMonte Casey. Minka can sit for a little bit because you know what you're going to get out of him. A great
Why
center
aren't
fielder.
them other guys out there? Why is there something wrong?
Yeah, it's preseason game 1, and although we only get 3 now, starters almost never play in preseason game 1, and I guess seeing them out there with the Tampa Bay team without the likes of Marquise Godwin Marquise Godwin or Mike Evans would have been kind of blah anyway, but
I suppose, Donkey, but I mean, Keanu Neal especially, first time in black and gold. I'd like to, put some time in, but he has plenty of time in. I do understand that, Donkey.
And I guess there's one other semi-disappointment for me, and that's just Cole Holcomb was on the field, but was Cole Holcomb on the field? He was supposed to be the big get of our linebacker free agency polls. Gingy was Cole Holcomb. And I don't even remember seeing him. Like, I remember seeing him, but
yeah, I don't know. Preseason week 1, hopefully. I agree. Like I said, we're looking at those middle linebackers. We need some real replacements there. We're starting from nothing again, starting over, really. And yeah, we need that guy to come through.
Only returning piece is a rookie or a second-year player whose rookie year didn't get a helmet his first 11 games. So that's a big gap there. Gingy, closing thoughts on the game.
Overall,
football.
Yeah, it's football offense looking sharp, especially on the passing side. Really would want to see some more Steeler football in terms of defense, but a lot of them fellas weren't out there, so we're gonna have to wait for that maybe for week 1. But overall, I'm happy. Pumped it's football season, Donkey. Let's go.
I am with you. I am excited. I am more excited about the offense than the defense. My reasoning's simple. Kenny Pickett looks to be a lot more in tune, being given the Matt Canada playbook from day 1 and knowing he's a starter and having it designed for him. Looked a lot better than it did last year when it was a work in progress. Excited about that. Excited about the depth at running back. because Anthony McFarland, when he played a little bit last year, looked pretty good. I'm excited about running backs 1 through 3, which is always a spot you need 3 because you never know when you're going to play 6, is the way it looks. So really excited about the offense. Defensively, my God, we're running the same damn schemes and getting beat the same damn way. When Tampa was effective, it was throwing the ball to the tight ends and running the ball up the middle. I hate that that's the same thing every year. But Gingy, that just lets me know it is Steeler football. It is that time of year. Hell, it's good to see it. I had a kid actually sit down in front, and Bugaboo watched the whole game, sitting down there, having fun, not really knowing what he was cheering about because he cheered when who the heck's the 4-string quarterback? Tanner Morgan threw that interception. He's like, yeah, go Steelers. I'm like, no. Bad play, buddy. Bad play.
Yeah, just get out there and chuck it. It's all
But
fun.
Gingy, we didn't get to talk about a guy who we mentioned twice in here. Addition late to the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's Quan Alexander. Prior to having a knee injury, prior to having an Achilles injury, prior to having a shoulder injury, that's 3 years lost to injuries. This dude was a top-notch linebacker down there in Tampa Bay for 3-4 years, borderline all-pro, never quite made that level, but a guy with a lot of starting experience and a lot of successful starting experience. Excited with the addition of him, or just another guy to this pot of inside linebackers?
Nope, need those guys to come through. Holcomb, Alexander, absolutely. He had a good game. Nice tackle for loss there. Real excited to see that, and hopefully see a guy, maybe Donkey, who can, like you said, tight ends. I need a middle linebacker who can cover a tight end, Donkey. I really do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you and me both. That'd be a nice thing to have. Devin White, I know you're upset you didn't get your 5th-year option picked up. You want Tampa to trade you? We'll bring that back up.
That'd be good. Okay.
But yeah, Gingy, what other fun talks were there? Oh, a little odd bit of Steelers news. I don't know if you saw, but I saw it. It made me laugh a little. I believe it was Jonathan Scott, some former Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman who was a sub-lineman, the swing tackle type position, goes out and says, there's zero doubt in my mind that year we lost the Super Bowl. If we started Charlie Batch instead of Big Ego Ben, we would have won the Super Bowl with Charlie Batch. Just look how good he played when Ben was hurt. Your thoughts on backup linemen trying to get a minute of fame by saying this? And also, is there any truth to a statement like that?
No comment. No, that you can't. That's 10. That's almost 15 years ago, Donkey. That's long gone. I wonder what Charlie Batch would say about that. That's what I'd be more interested in. I wonder what Charlie Batch would think about that. He'd be like, "Yeah, I
the nicest dude in the world." So he would say we wouldn't have. Second off, I didn't even realize Charlie Batch had started games in that year. You're right, it's so long ago. I had to go look that up to verify that Ben did get hurt.
Yeah, like I said, almost 15 in 2010.
09 season?
2013. No, like 13.
Oh, wait, 09 was the
12.
win, right?
Yeah, 05, 09 wins, like 12 or 12, 13, I think. Yeah. So, 10 years ago.
We can't even remember the years of it, so that tells you how good we are thinking about it right
12,
now.
10, it's all relative, Donkey. Mike Tomlin was the head coach, right? Tomlin was the coach. Roethlisberger was throwing a rock. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's like 15 years. We could take a guess.
That's all.
Let's just throw a dart.
That's all 2006, right?
It was all it was before this decade, okay? Before the start of the decade. It was all
just 2016. It was 2016, Donkey.
It was all pre-COVID, okay? We're in year 3 post-COVID. That shit happened pre-COVID.
Don't even bring that into this. Football was terrible. I remember getting games rescheduled, Thanksgiving games, Ravens games
next Thursday.
My God, no, that's bad. That's bad news, Donkey. We'll keep it rolling.
You're supposed to keep the nonsense out of this, Gingy. You are failing.
My bad.
epically.
My bad. It's a tough. Hey, I got my preseason too. All right, you can take notes and you let me know. All right, Coach.
I ain't taking no notes. We already read all my notes. But Gingy, any Steelers news going on that caught your eye? As
Nah, nothing that can match Jonathan Scott. All right, I can't follow that. Keep it rolling.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time we get to that part of the show. I hope your recap really worked for everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed it. No real NFL news going on that I'm aware of, but that means there probably is something. But Gingy, I guess it means I'm going to ask. Football started. Is there a shout out for you?
Absolutely. Looking for you. I told you earlier, I'm a defensive guy. All you hear me talk about is splash plays. Trenton Thompson taking away. Nice takeaway today. Let's go. Let's see some guys make some more splash plays. All right. You don't have to be a big famous name on a Hollywood marquee to be able to make a difference on this defense.
Gingy,
That's
I
my
was going to
shout out.
ask you for your shout out. Did you even know his name before today's game? Because I sure as hell did not.
No, but like I said, splash plays, no marquee necessary. All you need is INTs, baby, to make my shout outs.
Number
Trenton
17 will
Thompson.
now never be forgotten. My shout out is to all the Steelers Nation who made it down to that game in Tampa. What the hell is wrong with you? I love it. I love to see it. Y'all were loud. I heard Muth chants in the middle of the game. It's like 112 degrees down in the field. You're still rocking the black shirts. Y'all crazy, and I love to see it.
Here.
Now, I guess that means it's that time of show. I gotta let you know I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger is the fun no nonsense now channel where you get all this fun Steelers talk, all this fun Steelers news. We will do our best to break down preseason games, what we see going forward, maybe even a roster prediction if we're feeling really bold. But I highly doubt that because we're not smart enough to think of that, at least not on my side. But leave us a like, comment, follow. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us if there's any content that you want added this year. I'll probably keep the bug cap. I'll probably keep the power rankings after week 5. So that's what you have to look forward to. Gingy, what's going on?
Mutant Gingy in the house. We doing our thing, talking football. Oh my God, Donkey. It is that time of year again. We are finally getting locked in. Get your towels, people, and you know what to do. Wave them if you got them. Here we go, Steelers.